Okay, hi everyone, it's Dr. Lindner. We're going to be looking at muscles of the head and neck in this video. So let's take a look. And typically how I'll show these is where I may show some pictures first, or I'll show generally superficial what we're looking at without anything labeled, and then we'll have it labeled, then unlabeled, labeled. That's kind of like the pattern. But this gives you what I want you to see here. This is a view of the superficial side of the head. So this is just dissecting the skin away, and you can see what this looks like from the side view. And then you'll see a difference between this side and then this side. Turning the skull around, we see some bone because now we're looking at a deep side. So this side looks a little bit different, even if we're looking at the jaw, looks a little bit different than rotating the skull to the opposite side, where we've dissected a few more layers out of the way to get a deeper look. Okay, so that's why I show these. So now if we go back to this view, we're looking at a superficial view. This portion here, this fascial connection, is called Gallia aponeurotica. Aponeurotica. That's all of this gray, kind of whitish stuff. Okay. And another name for this Gallia aponeurotica is the epicranial aponeurosis. Now, an aponeurosis is a broad, flat tendon. And this epicranial aponeurosis is really the middleman between the frontalis muscle here and the occipitalis muscle back here. You ever see when people can move their hair or their scalp forward and backward, forward and backward? It's a really good connection between the frontalis and occipitalis, and you see the epicranial aponeurosis kind of shifting forward and backward, forward and backward. Okay. Still superficially, because we could still see the epicranial aponeurosis, just above the ear is the temporal parietalis. So we're looking at this right here, the temporal parietalis. And that's important because here's the ear, and anterior to it, we have a muscle. Posterior to it, we have a muscle, and superior to it, we have a muscle. So in front of it is the anterior auricular, behind it is the posterior auricular, and then above it is the superior auricular, right? So we have the temporal parietalis, temporal parietalis, then you have the three auriculars, anterior, posterior, and superior. Looking at a close-up around the eye, going around the eye, all of this going around it is called the orbicularis oculi. Orbicularis oculi. That's going all around. And there's another orbicularis going around the lips that look just like this. We just call it orbicularis oris, for oral, going around the mouth. The eyelids up here, that's called levator, like elevator. Levator palpebrae superioris. Levator palpebrae superioris. And then this one here, going this way, that's called the Corrugator Supercili. Corrugator Supercili. Okay, so you'll see I have this picture that's labeled, and then you can test yourself and see if you could do the same three without the labels. Okay, right here, going this way, where the nose is on the top, that's called the procerus, and the nasalis, these fibers are going this way. You have nasalis, procerus. Okay, now let's look at some of these cheek muscles. There's lots going on here. Let's see if we could do it in a more organized manner. So right here, we have a levator, labii. Labii means lip. Superioris. So right here, this portion here, levator, labii superioris. Adjacent to it, going this way, because it originates right there on the near the zygomatic, we have a zygomatic minor, and then below it, a zygomaticus major. That's because they both originate right there on the zygomatic bone. And minors are above majors. We'll see that to be true when we do the rhomboids. You have a minor and a major. Minors are always on top. Majors are always inferior to it. So you have a zygomaticus minor, and then here a zygomaticus major. Okay, going this way, here, in that direction, is the levator anguli oris. Levator anguli oris, going like to the angle of the lips. The trumpet muscle right here, that large deep one in that hole, that's called the buccinator. Remember we did terminology on the first day of class. The buccinator means cheek, so puffing out the cheek. That's the buccinator. And then the risorius is right from the edge of the lip, going back this way, risorius. That's like not really a smile, that's just like pulling the corners laterally straight back, like that. This superficial one right here that we see, that's called a platysma. That's like stretching the neck and making that web under the neck. That's the platysma muscle. We'll put a P here for platysma. Platysma. Okay, still we're on the same view. Now going all the way around the lips. Remember, going around the eye was the orbicularis oculi. Going around the eye, the orbicularis oculi. Now going around the lips is the orbicularis oris. Orbicularis oris. If we look from the corner going down this way, from the corner going down, there's a depressor anguli oris. Remember, on the top side, there was a levator anguli oris. Right? So the levator was on the top, and then the depressor is on the bottom. That would make sense, right? Depression has to be inferior. Levators have to be superior. Then we have a depressor labii inferioris. That's coming down in this direction. Like giving the sad lip, you know. I have a little girl, my daughter sometimes gives me the pouty lip. Pulling that down, depressor labii inferioris. Up here, we had levator labii superioris. Remember, levators are with superior, and then depressors have to be inferior. And then going to the tip of the chin is the mentalis. You can see those fibers kind of running transversely in that direction, going to the very, very tip, the mentalis. There's the platysma, very superficial to all of the anterior neck muscles. Going this way, we can see the SCM, the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Here we can see the pec major, superficial, And we can see the deltoids here, the deltoid. At least we can see the anterior deltoid in the front. We can see the middle deltoid on the side. Way on the back, we can see the posterior deltoid. It's got kind of has 3 divisions to it. Let's look at the muscles of mastication. We'll take a little break here and then we'll do the muscles of mastication. We'll stop this one. Give me a second.